No trees rustled their leaves. The birds, usually filling the forest with their twittering songs, had all hushed. The stillness was disquieting. Alert now, Dunston moved stealthily into the brush beside the trail. With barely a glance, he made out where Odin had passed. The fresh white wood of a broken twig, a bent fern. There, in the muddy earth between the boles of two gnarled oaks, a fresh paw print, claws dug in deeply where the dog had been running fast. With scarcely a sound, the aches in his knee and back forgotten, Dunston followed Odin's trail. He stepped lithely and as quietly as a shade. He did not hurry, for to do so would be to make noise when he knew that the surprise of silence would serve him well against man and beast. There were creatures that dwelt in these lands that it would do well to respect. He sometimes saw the spoor of bears, and at times, in winter, wolves would cause him trouble, ripping the flesh from the animals he snared. But he was not unduly concerned about bears or wolves. He was more worried that Odin might have stumbled upon one of the old boars that roamed the woodland. To face one openly could well spell death for a dog, no matter how strong. The larger boars had great dagger-like tusks, and he had seen hounds, and once even an unlucky man, disemboweled by the furious wild pigs. Dunston placed his hand on the large seax that was scabbarded at his belt. He had no spear, and if he was charged by a big boar, he knew the knife would do him little good. But the touch of its antler hilt reassured him. Barely breathing, he stalked forward, as silent as any woodland animal. He paused again, listening and sniffing the air. There was no sound. Surely, if Odin had stumbled upon a boar, there would have been a cacophony of grunts and growls as the animals fought. Even the largest boar would not slay Odin without a fight. And yet there was just the unnerving hush. Light sliced through the leafy canopy, dappling the loam and leaf mould. Dunston dropped to one knee, the joint letting out a sharp report. He winced at the sudden sound, loud in the unnatural stillness. He peered at the ground, unsure for a moment what it was he saw. And then the shapes of the trampled leaves and the scuffed mark on the moss-covered rock by the root of a linden tree all made sense in an instant of clarity. Odin had passed this way, but so too had several men. Large, heavy men, to judge from their tracks. 3 of them. No, 4. They had been travelling northward. Dunston examined the tracks closely. They were fresh. He did not recognize them. These were not the prints left by any of the men who came to the wood from Briwatona. He would never mistake the tracks of the charcoal burners, the woodsman, or the swineherd leading his pigs in search of mast under the trees. No, these were strangers, he was sure of it. But what would 4 men be doing creeping around in his forest? Perhaps they were wolf-heads, men outside of the law, whose oaths were worthless. Such men could be dangerous. They had nothing to lose. He pushed himself up, and before setting off once more after Odin, he listened again. There was a whisper of a sound, and an instant later the grey, white, and black hound loped into the lancing sunlight. Odin, tongue lolling, panted. His chest heaved. "Where have you been, boy?" asked Dunston in a hushed hiss. His heart soared at the animal's safe return, and he let out a pent-up breath, surprised at his own worry for the hound. He reached out a hand, and Odin nudged it with his snout, licking his fingers. The dog's nose was wet and cool. Dunston rubbed absently at the dog's ear, and was surprised to see a smudge of crimson on the beast's fur. Blood. He looked down at his hand, and saw that it was slick with the stuff. Pushing Odin's head to one side so that it caught a ray of sunlight, he saw that the hound's mouth and muzzle were drenched in gore. By Christ's bones, what had Odin discovered? Had he perhaps brought down a fawn? Odin was a good hunter, and would often chase and slay animals, but somehow Dunston knew that this blood